Hey everyone, it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to revisit an old project that I did a couple years ago, and we are going to go through how we can improve upon it using my new Glowforge. So this board I made a couple years ago. This is from the Target Dollar Spot at Valentine's Day section, and I created this design in Silhouette Studio, cut out a stencil with my vinyl, and I hand wood burned this. I think it's cute. I've been displaying it in my kitchen, but I thought now, hey, I actually have another one of these boards. Why don't I see how it would look if I used the same design, but I engraved it using my Glowforge machine. So I'm gonna go through, reset the design, and we're gonna see how it looks on the Glowforge. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, but don't forget I have a link in the description that shows you how you can save up to $500 on a brand new Glowforge. So here I am in Silhouette Studio. Here is the original board. So I created this in Silhouette Studio and I used it as a stencil. I used vinyl as a stencil and I hand wood burned this. So now we're going to redo it with our Glowforge. So I remember the fonts that I used for this. I'm going to go ahead and start typing. So we're going to do Taste and C. And this font was Octavia Script. So I'm going to type in Octavia. So we have it right here. I'm going to stretch this out so I can see it a little bit better. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this in black. I always recommend filling in your colors while working in Silhouette Studio just because it makes it easier to really see what your product is going to look like. So there are two more words in this script. So I'm going to hold down the Alt button while my mouse is over the words right here. If you hold it down and press the Alt button, you'll see your mouse turns into a plus sign. This is how you make a new copy. So I'm just going to click and drag to make a new copy. And I'm going to do it one more time because I want to carry over this font. And so the next one, I'm going to type in Lord. Oops. And then this last word is just good. All right, so now it'll kind of vary based on the other words in there. I did a combination of two different fonts. So I'm going to go over to my text tool right here. Let me move my microphone a bit. And I'm going to type in that, the, not the, that's not what I want. That, the, and this one I want to say it's in this font right here called Amatic, or however you call it. Oh, maybe I should spell it right. I'm not 100% sure that this is the font that I use, but this is the font that I'm going to use now. So I'm going to stretch that a little bit more. I'm going to fill it in black so we can work with it a little bit easier. And then just like always, going to click and drag to make my copy. I'm going to double click. I have that green box around it, which means I'm in text edit mode. And I'm just going to do is. So we're going to line this up right here. Line this up. So I'm going to make Lord larger. And the way it's set up is it kind of nestles in there. So I'm going to nestle it in there like that. I'm going to grab both of these, bring my arrows down, bring that down, kind of move this over to the side. This will line up over here. So just to make sure that this is the right size, I'm going to kind of make this a little bit longer, not longer, larger, and then bring this over like that. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm just going to nudge this down just a little bit more. All right, so that's pretty much it. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if you are a vinyl user or a Silhouette user for a long time, you should know this, but if you're getting used to designing and you're still learning, we have to make sure we remember to weld our script fonts. Now, right now, all of my words are in font mode, text edit mode, which means these letters are set up to overlap each other to look like it, but they're still separate. So whenever your letters lead into each other, there's an empty space in there. So there are lines that we'll cut or engrave in this case. What we want to do is we want to get rid of that. So we're just going to select this right here. In the top toolbar, we have our weld button. I'm just going to weld it. And while I'm at it, I'm going to right click and make compound path. So what I just did is I just took away my overlapping lines and then I made Taste and See one big object. So I'm going to click on this right here and turn off the fill so you can see what's happening here. So same thing, you can see we have our overlapping lines. So I'm going to select it right here, weld, So you can see our overlapping lines are gone, and then I'm going to right click, big compound path. And the way I can check to see if this is one big object is I can double click. You can see those are my points or my nodes, and so this means that I have one object. So I'm going to continue this on. I'm going to weld this, and then I'm just going to right click. I'm going to select this whole thing, right click, and make compound path. If you choose to just group this, it's totally fine, but I find it the easiest to keep everything as one big object. So now we can export if we have Silhouette Studio Business Edition. You're going to select your design, go to File, Save Selection, and save it to hard drive. Once you get to the file where you're choosing your file name, you just want to make sure you select SVG under your dropdown. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'm going to see you in just a moment in my Glowforge software. Alright, so now I am in Glowforge. I have my board already set up in here. This is a new design, so it says new design. So I'm going to go right here, import my artwork, and upload. So I'm going to choose my file. So now my file is being uploaded, so it's just going to process, make sure it's all set up, kind of go from there. So here is my design. I'm going to bring it in here. And it's actually not that far off from the actual dimensions from my original. So I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this position and scale. So you can see we have it right here. It's pretty good. I'm going to go right here before I do anything else and set the focus. So I went right here to these three dots, hit set focus, and now I'm going to choose the middle of the board. I might have to do it again because I got too excited. So now I have my design over here. It says no artwork. We need to go over, and you can see there's no material set, and we need to enter our settings. So I'm going to do engrave, and then I have been using a setting I put in here called cutting board. I'm doing my speed at 1000, my power at 85, and 270 lines per inch. So we have this set up right here. You can see our design. Let's go ahead and make sure I have my focus set. I think we're good. And then I actually am going to go right here and print it. So let's just double check everything. I want to make sure I'm good. Let's print. So this is going to prepare, figure out how long it's going to take. So this sometimes can take a couple minutes just to make sure, and especially because I'm doing this at 270 lines per inch. So we're just going to wait for that for a second. All right, so this is going to take 26 minutes, almost 27. So I'm going to go over to the machine, set up my camera, and we will go from there. Okay, here it is, guys. I think it looks really cute, and I like this shade of engraving. So you can adjust how dark your engraving is by adjusting your power and your speed. More power, lesser speed will make a darker engrave. So I think that turned out really nice. And here's my original. So kind of let's hold them next to each other. So here is my original, and here is my updated. Now they both, I think, have their own, you know, pros and cons. Of course, you need a laser engraver for this one, but this one you can see the little dots. You know, it's more handmade. So I really like this one because I can run and do a whole bunch of stuff. In the end, this project is actually a lot faster with the Glowforge. Because I did this by hand, this actually took me an hour or two, and holding the wood burner, it was hot in my hand. So I really like that. Let me know in the comments below, do you like when I update my projects using the Glowforge? Do you like this board? Do you want me to give you this file? I can put this on my website if you'd like it. But just let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And while you're at it, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. And I will see you in my next video.